We have learned new details regarding the two people charged in a cold case investigation from 2019.
Just last week, 25-year-old Dylan Millard and 29-year-old Charmaine Medicine were charged in the death of 15-year-old Alize Millard. Rosebud Sioux Tribe law enforcement tells KELOLAND News one of the suspects came forward and was arrested last month.
This is a story KELOLAND Investigates has been following since 2019. Millard's body was found hanging from a tree near Grass Mountain on the Rosebud Indian Reservation. At the time, law enforcement said the circumstances surrounding his death didn't add up because his body was also burned.
Well, it's been nearly 5 years since Alize lost his life, but family members continue remembering him for the generous and enthusiastic person he was. His grandfather, Peter Gibbs, says he remembers taking trips with Alize. He never expected that he'd one day lose his grandson.
I was the one who identified him, when I had to go down, so they wouldn't let me see all of him. I just saw him from like the bottom of the neck here upwards.
Dylan Millard and Charmaine Medicine have both been charged with first-degree murder and evidence tampering for allegedly burning Alize's body.
3 people are accused of kidnapping a man in central Sioux Falls over the weekend. Police say a man and woman on a motorcycle noticed a car following them just before 10 o'clock Saturday night. Authorities say they pulled over in a parking lot at 8th and Dakota, and the car followed them.
There were several people in this vehicle that got out, and they grabbed the guy and essentially at gunpoint forced him into that other car and then left.
The woman got away and called for help. Police later found the car with the man still inside with minor injuries. Authorities say the man and the people in the car knew each other. 20-year-old Danica Emma Hazian, 19-year-old Danny White, and 17-year-old Lucifer Mraz are all charged with first-degree kidnapping.
Well, 1 year after the crime, 3 former Mitchell Legion baseball players now admit to breaking the law. Yesterday, Carter Miller and Peyton Mandel both pleaded guilty to 1 count of being an accessory to a felony. In exchange for their pleas, rape charges will be dropped. This hearing comes a week after their former teammate Lincoln Bates also pleaded guilty. All 3 teenagers are scheduled to return to the courthouse on August 13th to be sentenced. Now let's get a check on our forecast with meteorologist Scott Munt. More storms for us today, Scott?
We are looking at showers and thunderstorms later this afternoon across eastern and southeastern KELOLAND. Some may become strong to severe, mainly in Iowa and Minnesota. Let's go ahead and check the forecast for today as temperatures will reach the 70s and 80s. Already a warm start in eastern and southeastern South Dakota, thanks in part to the strong southerly winds. They'll continue ahead of that cold front. Once the front moves through, winds will change direction to the northwest. Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
Thank you, Scott. It was a soggy day Monday for soccer players and fans in Sioux Falls as the semifinals in the U.S. Youth Soccer Midwest President's Cup took place at Yankton Trail Park. Fans tried their best to stay dry during the competition.
Luckily, we did bring some rain jackets from Kansas City, but just got this umbrella my parents left in our car.
Lightning and rain did cause some delays. The finals, though, are scheduled for today.
Celebrity chef Paul Wahlberg is in Sioux Falls this week. He, along with his 2 brothers, Mark and Donnie Wahlberg, own the restaurant and bar Wahlburgers. Monday, he met with some young culinary students to give them a taste of what it's like to run your own restaurant. His message to them is they have to love it.
Passion and desire, obviously the skills that you have to practice and really, but you have to be committed 100% because this is a 100% job. It really is, because it's funny, people come up to me and go, "What are you doing this weekend?" I'm like, "Working." "What are you doing tonight?" "Working."
Wahlberg and his brothers own close to 120 restaurants across the country, including those here in Sioux Falls.
11 to 15-year-olds are looking to help parents in the Sioux Falls area by babysitting. They're attending a babysitting camp held at MB. At the camp, they're learning many different skills to make them better babysitters.
It was really cool to learn how to do CPR on babies because that's really important.
The camp will be held every week until the first week of August.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, our weather update today. Well, we're watching the chance of more thunderstorms. The risk of severe weather is certainly on the table here for southwest Minnesota, northwest Iowa. Now, let's take a look at what's going on with this setup today, because it is a little bit different than yesterday. We have a cold front coming on in. We've got a basically pretty big spread on temperatures this morning. We've been in the 40s in Spearfish. We're in the upper 70s in southeast South Dakota. So when we look at 12 o'clock, your frontal boundary is right here. You got south winds ahead of it, Sioux Center, Worthington, Marshall. You've got a northwest wind behind it, Chamberlain, Pierre, Phillip, and the in-between zone is where we're going to watch all of this activity blossoming. Now, at 2 o'clock, it's already trying to hit these scattered thunderstorms from Norfolk, Nebraska, maybe up to Canton. Again, not necessarily severe weather, but just some rain. But then do we fire up those bigger storms east? Probably. It looks more and more likely that that's the zone to watch. Sioux Falls is catching some thunderstorms on the backside of the front, and we do want to make sure that we acknowledge that chance of rain at least through the early evening. I do think after 7:30, 8 o'clock, most of that will be moving into north central Iowa, south central Minnesota. Tomorrow morning, I got to mention this, 30s for lows in the Black Hills. Custer, 35, 36. Seems like a pretty reasonable number based on the data we're looking at this morning. Hopefully we can dry things out tomorrow. I do think most of the day looks dry. For those that are pretty soggy, you can use that. However, there's more rain coming later in the week, and probably get ready for some of that already maybe Wednesday night into Thursday. Highs today, 80s. Along and ahead of the front, 84 from Aberdeen, or I should say Yankton to Sioux Falls. Aberdeen, you're kind of in the middle ground there at 77. That northwest wind will pick up tonight. Look at these lows here. Western South Dakota, 39 in Pine Ridge, 39 also in Buffalo. Then we got Sioux Falls here at 57. Yeah, you may want to open up the house a little bit here. Let in some of this Canadian air come through. Only 69 tomorrow for a high in Watertown and Brookings. Sioux Falls 72. Well, if you want things to be warmer, well, get ready. Here we go. By Friday, we could be close to 90 in Sioux Falls. And also, we're watching these storm chances. Probably with a scenario like that, Friday and Saturday, it's more or less those evening or overnight storms. We are tending to keep the extended, at least by day 6 and 7, a little bit drier. And we'll keep watching that ridge pattern as it tries to develop at least for a little while. Aberdeen in the northeast, a good bit of rain here too. Probably your best bets will be again by Friday and Saturday as this frontal system retreats back to the north. Pierre, central South Dakota, we also expect additional thunderstorm chances Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. A lot of it will be evening or overnight chances. And for Rapid City, after a cool start to the 7-day, we end hotter. Could we hit some 90s? Maybe. Check out the details online at KELOLAND.com.